well drawn there, Ryan McBride, Brandywell, frustrating probably the word in the end.
Yeah, nail on the head. I think Derry knew they were just going to have to sit in, try to frustrate us and hit us on the break, and look, they're still a dangerous side, so I think we nullified them quite well, because they have the threats of McElhenney and Duffy and really talented players, so we nullified that well. But ultimately, I think, for being honest, we didn't create enough and didn't do enough to break them down and win the game. Probably unfortunate. Nights like this, sometimes it takes just that one chance, and Jack seems to take it really well, but the referee is seeing something and not giving it, and another day maybe it's given, we come away happy out with 3 points, control the game, but we're not happy with that one tonight.
From a travelling support point of view, there's been frustration, especially before the red card, of maybe getting a lack of shots off. As a goalkeeper, are you looking at that from the other end, going just get a few shots off early and test the keeper maybe?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because you see, like, 1 or 2 lads might have a shot, and if it goes over the bar or off target, then you could be getting in the net because we're building really well. So look, we had 2 or 3 shots tonight, and yeah, I'm sure on reflection some of the lads would have wanted more, but in fairness to Derry, they pile bodies inside the box and really tried to suffocate that middle part of the goal, and yeah, so like, obviously we probably would have wanted to get 1 or 2 more shots off, and with the wind behind us, you never know what could happen, but it's easier said than done, I think, when you have a side just sitting deep and wanting to defend in front of that goal area.
The red card was celebrated like a goal in the stand. Did it end up maybe being more of a hindrance in that Derry did just drop off? The manager spoke about the low block and just couldn't get through.
Yeah, I think first half we probably were a little bit guilty, getting sucked into just being happy to keep the ball and move it, and they were sitting in, and we're probably happy out, and then they looked dangerous on the break, in fairness to them in that first half. But look, you can't come out and complain about a team getting a red card. Ultimately it's 11v10, we've all the ball, we've wealth of talent going forward, so we know we probably should have done a bit more with it, but credit to Derry, they worked really hard. They obviously did a lot of play for going into the game, so it's disappointing, yeah. But
losing Will Jarvis when we did was probably a killer. He was causing a lot of problems, and it's probably that magic player you're looking for something to come from in a game like that where you have dropped off so much. Is there any, you're probably not the right man to ask, but is there any update on Will? What shape is he in there now?
That's too early to say, I'd say, especially on a night like tonight where you're coming off and you're probably freezing cold and stiff the second you come off the pitch, so it's probably too early to say. But losing Will was obviously huge. I think he's probably our only out and out winger, and with the red card we probably needed that bit of width and that bit of magic in those 1v1 situations. But yeah, it's disappointing to lose Will tonight, but hopefully we'll see him back for the last 2 games. Because
you mentioned there about after the red card maybe we were guilty of keeping possession too much. It's hard to find a balance between like that keeping possession, moving the team around and taking risks, because I know again there's frustration. You probably heard it being down that end of the second half that there's calls for just get it in the box, and is that a test of maybe the principles the group have, that you did just stick at what you're used to? The manager mentioned about patterns and just try to stick with what you know. Is it hard to strike that balance between taking a risk maybe? And
I suppose it can be, but I think in the first half, in fairness, one thing that was echoed a lot was don't lose the composure now and don't start going hell for leather, because you could see Derry are still dangerous on the counter attack. So it wasn't a case of straight off the bat we didn't need to go piling 9-10 players into the box. I think we did look second half, we put a few crosses into the box, but ultimately we're not that type of team. They've got Shane McElhenney in there and they're good at defending those crosses from deep areas, so I think the best bet was to move them, and I think unfortunately we're probably on one of the worst pitches you can be on to play against 10 men. It doesn't suit Derry's style of play, but today it probably did them a favour, because you probably just couldn't move the ball with that extra bit of speed. And look, I know players themselves will feel they probably should have done it themselves, but I think if you get a night and talker like tonight where a bit of zip on the pitch, maybe it makes it that bit easier. But yeah, we're probably guilty of moving it a little bit too slow.
We've been in really good form recently. Is the stop-start nature of it now maybe killing us a little bit? We seem to get momentum, and then there's a break for internationals or a cup break or whatever it may be. At this stage of the season, it's frustrating that you do get the momentum.
It's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think you look at us, we're going into today, we're probably one of the most forward teams in the league. You look back to the Pats game, you get a huge win, even you see after the game there's a real buzz, there's a real momentum, and then you're not playing. And then you have to come back and you have to play in Dalymount and Tala in a week, and then you're not playing, and then you're playing Dundalk and you get a result, and then you're not playing. Like, how are you meant to build momentum? And I think it's absolutely, as a player, it's really frustrating. Crunch time of the season, there should be a massive buzz, there should be week on week games rolling in, lots of intensity, and I think we're probably fortunate with the staff that we have that there is still an intensity and an edge in the training we have, but it's just that they're breaking it up at this stage of the season. I can't wrap my head around it. But look, that is what it is. You have to take it. Every team's in the same boat, in fairness, but I think every team will probably echo what I'm saying, and hoping that next season it's looked at and we can get maybe more games in more consistently towards the end of the season.
Well in the mix now going into these last 2 games. In terms of opposition, I know Shels will just worry about what we're doing. But like Drogheda's season is kind of sorted, you know, they're not going to challenge for anything, they're not going to be in a playoff. UCD are already relegated. Does that make those games a little bit more dangerous maybe, if those teams can come out and just kind of have a go? Yeah,
but look at UCD. Drew Shamrock Rovers, Bohemians, scrape by them. So people said they've nothing to play for. I've been there. You're playing for your place in the team next season. You know there's someone coming over your shoulder every single year, and they get to play with that bit of freedom maybe. That little bit of weight of expectation and pressure goes off them, and it's all geared towards next season. They've a really, really good manager there in Andy Myler, who's moving on. So I'm sure he'll want to squeeze every last bit out of them as well. And Willie, who's obviously stepping up to the plate, is a very, very good coach. So look, they've lots to play for in terms of gearing towards next season. Drogheda as well, I think, going through that dressing room, there's 4 or 5 lads in that dressing room who want to do a number on us, particularly late in the season. If we have something to play for, I'm sure there's a few of them who'll be licking their lips to try and stop us on our track, so we have to be well prepared for a serious battle down there. But as you said, all eyes are on UCD on Friday, because it's not a game we can take for granted.
Thanks, Conor.
No worries, Stephen. Cheers.